And welcome to Talking Time with Caffeine. If you haven't yet, click that bell down below so you can get all of our videos. Once again, it's just the two of us. Not two of us, two people. And one of us, not me this time, is still under the weather. Somewhat.
Yeah, I'm not in the best mood right now because I was sick and I don't know.
Oh. Yeah, so far it's been two people per video so far. It was me and Snick last week. Then it was me and Mario on Saturday, and now it's me and Snick again. So this might be another short episode, because our main subject person is under the weather.
Yeah.
But before we get to the main subject, like Mario last week, do you have any opinions on spoilers and stuff from what you missed last week?
Well, I posted in the comments, yeah, spoilers for anything that's a TV show or a movie. And even a game, like, I don't like any of it because that's part of the reason I go into stuff. I just appreciate story a lot. And there's a lot of people that say that games don't need stories, which is true, but at the same time, I feel like games with stories and good gameplay have the best value. It's like the Metal Gear games. Like, the Metal Gear games are like a big example. Like, oh, play through this awesome game and you get to see this awesome story. So they have it spoiled for you kind of takes the fun out of it. And I did post a comment on the last episode we did that I was only there for like a few minutes because I was completely sick then, and there was nothing I could have done to be a part of that. And then I dropped out because my sister is bringing me medicine. She was probably going to tell me to turn it off anyway.
And sorry for the lack of background this week. I had to set this up in 10 minutes, so it is what it is.
Well,
Oh, another thing, another topic we talked about last week about drugs and stuff. I found it funny that a few days after the Attorney General said he's going to crack down on anti-drug laws, marijuana again, two days later, two more states passed legal recreational, like Vermont and New Hampshire. Well, New Hampshire passed it. I think Vermont's trying to pass it, or maybe reverse that, I forget. But as soon as he said that, two more states passed recreational use. I don't know if that was planned already or a defiance of him or what. I thought it was kind of funny.
Oh, the FCC's stupid proposal to get rid of net neutrality?
Yeah.
In it, well, for one thing, net neutrality is the fight for net neutrality is getting more and more good news. Because on that front, it's official, the Senate is now trying to push forward a repeal of the proposal.
Cool.
But what's funny is that the proposal of the repeal said states cannot endorse put forth their own net neutrality rules after the repeal. Several states like New York and California took that, said fuck you, and they said they're putting forth their own laws, or plan to.
Yeah, it's a battle with government. It's the same government battle again.
Yeah.
As I talked about in the last episode, it's funny. like they're like the government's like what's that word? Reversal flip flopper thing.
I don't know.
Like politics again, but like I said in the last episode, when the Supreme Court passed that gay marriage judgment, they were all like, they can get married now, no problems. And they're all like, let the states decide if they want it or not. Don't make the federal government do this. But then all of a sudden, when it comes to the drugs things, and the states decide, they're like, no, the federal government's in charge of this stuff. Make up your mind. It's either one or the other. It can't be. You can't like have it both ways. Is the federal government in charge, or is the states in charge? Sorry, I have to get that rant out again because it's stupid. Like they can't make up their mind. But, anyways.
I didn't get. Could I finish the thing on spoilers? Could I just reiterate what I put in the comments in the video?
You may.
Alright, so to give an example of how, because I would say nowadays when you're making like a big game that's full 3D, maybe an open world game, I would say making a good story is almost essential to make me want to keep playing.
Like Breath of the Wild?
I mean, well, Breath of the Wild's kind of different because it's not so much you're learning. It's a very basic story of Breath of the Wild, but Breath of the Wild's appeal is that you're exploring this vast world of Hyrule. And the same goes for the Dark Souls games. Like, it's not a... Like, those can... Maybe the reason why it works in those games is because they're, like, stuff you wouldn't see in real life. Whereas an open world game that's set in, like, oh, Chicago or San Francisco, like the Watch Dogs games, like, oh, those are cities you can visit in real life. What's special about them?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I provided this example. Like, sometimes... So, I'll admit, in the comment, I claim I loved the story of Watch Dogs 1, and that's not necessarily true. Like, thing is, I liked it. Like, it actually moved places. Like, you actually felt like stuff was at stake, and you wanted to keep playing the story missions to see what happens next. But the gameplay was so frustrating. Missions had no checkpoints, and they frequently required you to do non-lethal takedowns, and the only way to do that was to literally run up to an enemy and pound him. And unfortunately, all an enemy has to do is pull out a gun and start shooting at you. They'll just keep their distance from you if you run towards them, and then all it takes is a few shots to die. Then ultimately, what ruined Watch Dogs 1 for me was one mission where I spent over a half hour trying to sneak up, trying to do this little stealth section, taking down enemies, and then one was escaping. I chase after him. I nearly fail a car chase with him. The car chase took like 5-10 minutes. I ram him off the road. He run. It doesn't help. You can't do. So I ram him off the road, and he gets out. He starts shooting at me. So I have to get out. I take cover behind the car. He's still shooting, and he just doesn't stop. So I wait for like a pause between his shooting, and then I run up to him, but then he just starts up again. I'm shot dead. That entire 45 minutes I was playing was gone. I had to do it all over again. I rage quit the game so hard. Like, I not only closed the application right then and there, I deleted it off my PS4. I literally did a DSP rage quit. That's how pissed off the game made me. And I just looked up the rest of the story online, and then it was nothing special. Not worth it to keep playing. Watch Dogs 2 improved on the gameplay by actually giving you a stun gun. Holy Jesus, now you don't have to run up to people and risk death. Only problem is Watch Dogs 2 story sucks. Literally all it is are these wannabe gangsters that just love freedom of expression, yo. We the power.
Fight
the story doesn't move anywhere. Admittedly, I only played a few story missions, but I gave up because I didn't care.
Yeah, some games get your attention, some games don't. I really want to play Breath of the Wild. I should just play it just to play it. But I wanted to have one of those, you know, first moment things, you know, when I'm playing it for the first time on camera. But stupid OBS, oh god, it'll fucking won't work right now. Is it working now? So maybe OBS will work. Maybe OBS will start working now. I can record on that. But oh god, 2 days to try to get to work and just angry. Okay, ran over. All right. I guess now. Well, our first topic was picked by me. First episode. Second one was picked by MarioTube. And now, Snick here has his topic to talk about for today's main topic.
Yeah, I chose to talk about all the problems I think modern entertainment has. And no, it's not the overabundance of superhero movies or how, unnecessary remakes and sequels, yo. No, my real problem is with how well, first of all, the thing that got me thinking about it was when I was at the movie theater yesterday, I saw a poster for the new Grinch movie that's being done by Illumination, the people who did that Minions crap. And it looked weird. Like, it looked, oh my god, what the hell. In fact, I actually sent a video to Vandalia, Brandon, and Mario. Not that anyone except Vandalia responded. Well, I think Mario responded too. But, essentially, I found a photo of the same poster online, and I did a little OBS recording of the poster with audio from Full Metal Jacket playing underneath. So what they saw was that poster with the words, "Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that? Why is that Private Pile?" Like, essentially, I think it's supposed to be a poster of the Grinch as a little kid, and the caption of the poster is, "He gets meaner." And my big problem with modern entertainment is the American animation industry. More and more, I get convinced that American animators just do not care anymore. At least the ones working for the big studios. They just do not care. A lot of animation is done with low budgets. A lot of them are generic comedies. They're all trying to be Shrek. And I'm just tired of it.
Is this somebody who actually likes Shrek?
Oh yeah, I still to this day will. Hey, I will like Shrek forever. But the thing is, Shrek was built to be satire on the typical Disney movie, you know? A lot of these stupid anime movies that have come out that are trying to imitate Shrek completely miss the point Shrek was trying to give.
Be your own thing.
Do your own thing. No, like Shrek was just meant to be like a simple satire on like the typical Disney movie, you know, or like old fairy tale stories. In fact, I actually did look up a plot synopsis of the book, and the movie has like almost nothing to do with the book other than having an ogre named Shrek and him marrying a princess. But yeah. Not to mention, I've always said that even though there's a variety of different animation styles, I always prefer 2D stuff because that's stuff that I find most appealing. 3D is too generic. Like, I'm just tired of seeing 3D everywhere.
I mean, it has its places, but it's like oversaturated market.
It is an oversaturated market, I would say.
Kind of like,
and the thing is, it's all animated movies that come out in America. They're all 3D, and very, very rarely you'll get a 2D movie. The last one having come out was the second SpongeBob movie. Well, actually, maybe not the second SpongeBob movie. I think the My Little Pony movie got a wide release, but I don't think it did well. In fact, I didn't even know it was a wide release. I think it was supposed to be, though. And meanwhile, Teen Titans Go is getting a movie.
Why?
I don't know. Though the funniest thing is that it actually opened at the same weekend. It actually opens on the same weekend. Well, how do I put this into words? It opens near the 1-year anniversary of the Emoji Movie's release. So the two of them practically opened on the same weekend in July.
So, in your opinion, which is worse?
Probably the Emoji Movie. Mm. I mean, I'll admit, that animated Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, that at least looks different. I mean, it's also in 3D, but it kind of looks very stylized.
Is that like a new Spider-Man movie, animated, you said?
Yeah, it's a new animated Spider-Man movie. Like, essentially, it's, like, you know the whole Spider-Verse story arc in the comics?
No.
No, well, there's also a game called Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions where 4 different Spider-Men from different universes come together.
That's what this movie's going to be about?
Well, it's kind of like that. Like, for instance, it's known the main Spider-Man of that movie is not going to be Peter Parker. It's going to be Miles Morales.
Okay. So,
at first I thought they were just pushing SJW crap for the kids, but no, it actually looks like they are doing a respectable take on, like, successors. You know, because Miles Morales was chosen as a successor to be Spider-Man by Peter Parker.
Okay.
And through crossing dimensions, he actually does get to meet Peter Parker.
Cool.
And it's meant to be like an emotional encounter.
Now, because I want to know is this a separate universe right here, or is this part of the new Spider-Man canon?
No, it's not part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's its own thing.
Which means, ranting again here, once again, in the past 10 years or so, there have been 4 Spider-Man reboots.
It's not a reboot since the original is still going.
I guess that's right. I mean, I'm all for, like I said, I'm all for reboots and stuff, but just, it's not reboots, okay, I guess, but still, for reboots, maybe sometime between the movies and the series before they're like, you know what, can it, reboot. Oh, God. I think you had, my entertainment, I think you had similar gripes about it when we tried to do our Cartoon Evolution video last season.
Yeah. I mean, I did find out that, one thing I've always hated about animated TV shows is that a lot of them are in 2D. Like, it's actually surprising how very few of them are, if any at all, are in 3D. But with maybe the exception of Disney Channel, all of them love, and Disney Channel and Disney XD, all of them love using the exact same art style, and I am tired of seeing it. Though I am at least happy Nickelodeon's embracing their past, and I recently saw the Hey Arnold the Jungle movie, and it was nice to sit through.
Is she the new DuckTale series? Is that like the new art form, or is that old art form, or what?
It's new art form. I wouldn't call it the bubbly shit, but it's still I wouldn't say it's as complexly drawn as the original. Honestly, another thing I miss is was when the Disney characters were allowed to be drawn with their modernized designs. Because now it's always got to be stylized and all that. Like, I remember back in the early to mid 2000s, I would always see new Mickey shorts that were done with the characters in their current designs. And yeah, it's all. But no, the only shorts they do nowadays, those ones that get posted on the internet, they're in cheap Flash animation, and all the characters are in cheap redesigns meant to look like the 1920s.
Oh yeah, I never liked that very much. Never got into that little shorts.
Yeah, like honestly, it's always about, oh, let's look back to the past, bro. Whatever happened to moving forward? It's always money. Never, we can never do things expensive. We always have to do things cheap.
Yeah.
It's like only movies can do things expensive nowadays because. Oh, of course, maybe it's because of the adpocalypse that TV shows think they can't make as much money, but that's why you not only make a show with a lot of effort and budget behind it, but then you also make a lot of merchandise behind it.
Adpocalypse? I thought the adpocalypse only affected YouTubers.
Well, TV is supposedly a dying medium according to a lot of people. I don't know if I believe that, though, because I know a lot of people who still have TV in their house. Like, I don't know anyone who's completely gotten rid of their TV.
I'm about to get rid of my cable, my TV, because I like watch one show a week at this point. It's not worth paying like $50 a month when I just watch it on Hulu.
Well, well, my mom and dad use the cable, so it's worth it to them.
Yeah, I'm living my.
And honestly, I sometimes use. I mean, originally I was only using cable to watch Walking Dead, but that show's a piece of shit. So,
Yeah.
and I got out of it. So now, anytime I turn on cable, it's to watch Nick Splat.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of it basically because I watch one show a week, and I found out I can watch it on Hulu or another USA app, and then just all I need is internet.
Hmm.
Anyway, I'm probably keeping my house phone too, just in case I don't get backlog of junk mail. But God, with my cell phone and internet, I don't know what the point of cable is really, because you watch most shows on the internet now.
That's why I wish Nicktoons still served its original purpose of being 24-hour Nicktoons. But nope. In the morning, they show their live action shit, and then in the afternoon, all they show is their new cartoon shit.
That's another thing I hate about modern entertainment. What I used to love on Saturday mornings is gone now. There's no unless you watch Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, whatever. There's no Saturday morning cartoons anymore, really. I used to watch on ABC or Fox Kids growing up. Those are all gone now. Another thing about modern entertainment, the 24-hour network, I guess. You don't need Saturday morning cartoons anymore because you have cartoons all the time. That I miss TGIF too. Those were fun. But that's the past, really. And so why do you think they started doing all these bubbly stuff all the time, everywhere?
Once again, it's probably to save money, and because I'd say it might be because people who worked on cartoons from like the 90s to 2000s, they were probably born in an era where you had all the classic Disney stuff. Nearly everything had a lot of effort put into it. Like, they weren't born in the 70s. They weren't raised on like cheap-looking Hanna-Barbera stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember.
But now we're kind of in an era where these people were raised on it, and they think, oh, we don't need to make the animation look good. It's all about the writing. And once again, I would say it's because money and because people don't want to learn how to draw complex things.
To be fair, I like the old Hanna-Barbera stuff. I've seen reruns of it. Some of it are pretty funny.
Yeah, some Hanna-Barbera stuff, it was obviously meant about the comedy, and like the animation limitations, like that's just what they had to deal with because TV was very different back then. Like, essentially
less restrictions, probably.
Yeah, a lot of restrictions, and not to mention, as soon as your show run its course, you'd be off the air forever.
Yeah, I heard it back then. It took 6 months to make a 30-minute cartoon.
I believe it.
I think I read it in the Disney Afternoon magazine, talking about DuckTales, the original series.
Yeah, well, that show was actually responsible for Disney took a big risk with that show, and essentially it survived and made Disney a lot of profit off of reruns alone. Like, it was essentially built to be syndicated.
And it was the starting off block of the Disney Afternoon too.
Yeah.
That, Gummy Bears, all the other shows. It's funny. I think I talked about it before, but to me it seemed like back then the cartoons, when they try to teach you a lesson, try to teach you something, they're kind of subtle about, like, they kind of slid it in, you know, learning stuff. They didn't like beat you over the head over it, like Dora and them do today. Like, you're going to learn today. Get it in your head. They tricked you into learning. Like the one episode, not really tricked. One episode of Rescue Rangers where one of them joined a cult. they talked about cults back then when I was a kid. I was like, cults are bad. Like, oh. Like, but yeah. I guess the modern thing is everything has to be educational. You know, it has to be to make sure it's educational. I mean, they did it back then too. They just, they didn't make it so obvious it was educational. So what cartoons did you start off at? What cartoons and movie shows did you start off as growing up?
Well, let's see. I don't remember what I had on Disney Channel, but on Cartoon Network, I probably had Dexter's Lab, maybe Powerpuff Girls, and some classic Hanna-Barbera stuff like Scooby-Doo, as well as the Looney Tunes shorts. And then on Nickelodeon, I had Rugrats. SpongeBob would eventually come on. And
growing up in the 80s, we had the reruns of the 70s cartoons. They were all over the place in the 80s, like at USA and stuff. There was no Cartoon Network yet or Nickelodeon yet.
I mean, well, Nickelodeon did exist back in the 80s, but there were no Nicktoons.
And as for Disney, at the time, it was Disney was more of at least in my area, it was more of like an HBO type channel. It's more it was more like a pay extra to get it. So I really couldn't get Disney.
Not to mention, there wasn't anything really notable on it.
So I just grew up on the ABC, Fox, CBS, NBC, and maybe USA stuff, cartoons in the 80s. And then I watched Fraggle Rock and Muppet Babies and stuff. But then the Disney afternoon stuff came in the late 80s, and I was all about that until the 90s when we're starting with Bonkers and stuff. I started getting, okay, I'm getting bored of this now. So that's when I started watching the Power Rangers early to mid 90s. And with that came the Japanese cartoon like Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon. I started facing into more anime stuff. Then for shows, there was the really I don't really get into much primetime shows because I was too young to stay up that late. Maybe except on Friday nights when I watched the TGIF lineup on Friday nights at ABC. I got into that a lot. Except for the times I was the football games at school to see some cheerleaders, but that's a different story. And then that faded off in the 2000s, right around the time the internet became a thing. Even though YouTube wasn't a thing until 6-7 years later, there's discussion boards on the internet, early forums and stuff I used to be part of all the time, talking about shows in the late 90s, early 2000s. And that's the thing that affected modern entertainment, the internet. I think that's really lots of people how people view TV now, because they can see stuff on the internet. Like Hulu and Netflix and iTunes. And there's all these Netflix original shows now too. So you ever watch Hulu or Netflix?
Netflix and Hulu, yeah.
Yeah, that was me growing up. And then I learned about how I grew up watching like early anime, and I later learned about, hey, there's things called subs too, and they're totally different. Like, really? And they are. They're totally. The original stuff is totally different from the American stuff. Probably, again, censorship and stuff. I guess America can't have certain things in America. Even though I think even though now I think it's going away a little bit. I don't think anime. I'm not positive. I don't think anime is as censored as it used to be here in America. I could be wrong.
You don't think anime is censored as it used to be? I wouldn't argue with that. I believe that.
I think people are more open now than they were back in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
So what do you like nowadays? You see what you don't like. What entertainment do you like?
I mean, well, when it comes to animated stuff, there is very little I like because I just think all of it is lazy. Like the Castlevania TV series that premiered on Netflix a year ago, like that I actually liked that. I do like how Young Justice is returning for another season, though.
So you think they?
Not sure what happened.
So you think they did that series good?
Oh, that series was definitely good when I watched it. Then as for live action stuff, well, I would say live action stuff never really dropped in quality way I see. I mean, well, Walking Dead's still the biggest show ever, and I think that show sucks, but thankfully a lot of fans have begun to recognize it. Because, spoilers for the show, for anyone who's watching, Vandalia, I don't think you care, nor should you. So, the thing about the comics is that it's all about Rick, the main character, essentially raising his son to be a better man in the wake of the zombie apocalypse. In the mid-season finale, because the thing about Walking Dead is that literally, because they want to pad things out to shit, it's gotten to the point where the first 8 episodes, literally all you have to do to understand the plot of a season is to watch the premiere, watch the mid-season finale, and watch the season finale. Everything in between you can skip. That is how pointless those episodes are.
Hey, if any of you are watching right now, I see 2 people are watching. I don't know if it's just 2 of us or whatever. Hey, if you like tell us what you think about modern entertainment in the comments in the chat room. If any of you are live right now.
But anyways, so yeah, the whole point of the series is Rick's son Carl learning to become a man from Rick. That's not going to happen anymore because Carl was revealed to be bit in the Season 8 mid-season finale, meaning he's going to die. They killed the entire reason the plot of the show existed for cheap shock value.
Unless they somehow find a cure for him or something.
That's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, my sister is into that show. I had to watch 1 episode of it when we were on vacation at Disney World last year.
What episode was it?
All I know was they were hiding somewhere in the wilderness, and one of them betrayed them. And fired a gun that attracted them to the camp.
See, pointless. Right now, I watched the Arrowverse on the CW as well as Gotham on Channel 5. I do try to watch them on TV when I can, but because of my busy schedule and because of me being at school, I usually don't have the time, so I have to go on Hulu for Gotham and then the CW website for the rest of them.
Yeah, again, that makes my point up. If you miss TV, you can just watch it on the app.
After I graduate, I reckon I'll have a lot more time to actually go on TV and watch it.
There's
I actually used my TV to watch Hey Arnold the Jungle Movie. I had to DVR it. But, yeah, let's see. But yeah, the thing is, you could argue those shows have a lot of filler too, but at the very least, you feel like they move, you know? Because, like, Arrow, The Flash, Legends, Supergirl, even Gotham has a lot of story arcs going on at once, but with the stuff on the CW, when the plot is slowly moving forward throughout the season, you have a lot of typical Monster of the Week kind of episodes, which just have a villain and like a single story to tell. But even though you could argue it doesn't advance the main plot that much, at least something is going on, you know? That's how episodes like Batman the Animated Series and Spider-Man the Animated Series were. At least you have a reason to watch. Walking Dead, a lot of it's just meandering around talking.
Yeah. Let's see.
And, well, aside from that, I also watch the Marvel shows on Netflix, like, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, the Defenders. I haven't watched The Punisher yet, but I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah, it reminds me. I gotta catch up on this season of Shield and watch it this season so far.
Oh my god. But yeah, so I would say not all entertainment is bad. It's just that, when it comes to games, well, I've noticed that a lot of games are pushing towards the online multiplayer aspect. And truth is, I felt like I've had very few people to talk to, and it's kind of been making me feel a little sad.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I hate online multiplayer. Because everyone's going to be saying, well, why don't you play online multiplayer? That way you can meet people and feel better about yourself. But no. If you go online, you are going to almost guaranteed to run into nothing but toxic people who just want to see you suffer and lose at whatever game you're playing.
That is true. I used to play online games all the time. It's online games are no fun unless you're playing with people that you know. Or in the rare cases, you do make a friend on there. Sometimes you do make friends on there. It's very rare. And even though you do, half the time you and that person aren't have the same schedule. So you can't be online at the same time all the time. So if you're going to do it online, trust me over this, if you're going to do an online game, start with people you know in real life.
Yeah, honestly, I want to play GTA Online more, but the thing is, I don't know anyone in real life who owns the game on PS4. They either own it on Xbox One, or they don't own it at all. Like Mario, for instance, like I can't play GTA with him because he doesn't own it.
I don't own it either.
And yeah, Vandalia doesn't own it. Brandon apparently owns it, but he's online so rarely nowadays that I can't get him to come on. I even think he said he hated the game. I don't think GTA 5 is as good as GTA 4, but honestly, if I had the ability to play GTA 5 with friends, I would.
Of course, and then some games stand the test of time, like Mario and Zelda. They've been around for like as long as I've been alive, and they're still around.
Yeah, it's good to know that single-player games have been making a valiant stand in the last couple of years. Like, the Wolfenstein games have proven that you can completely omit multiplayer from your game. You can still be a big success. Resident Evil 7 proved that actually brought the Resident Evil series back to its horror roots.
They left the horror roots?
Yeah, like Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 was very horror geared, but it was a lot more of an action game. Resident Evil 5 was added in co-op, which took out a lot of the horror element, but there was still a lot of it there. Like, you felt like you were up against the odds.
I always thought Resident Evil was like the Walking Dead of the video game world.
And what's purely ironic is that Resident Evil, like, what's funny is that a lot of zombie stories always do a global outbreak. Ironically, the two zombie franchises from Capcom, Resident Evil and Dead Rising, they've never done a global outbreak. They're outbreaks of whatever.
Localized.
Like, they're always contained to like one single area. In fact, Dead Rising actually does a very interesting take on the whole zombie pandemic thing because there was never a global outbreak. It's always just like scattered outbreaks in like different cities or towns. That actually creates a lot of like legal crap, like civil rights movements, because people who get bit need to take a drug in order to avoid turning. And the drug is expensive to manufacture, it's high in price, high in demand, which leads to all these civil rights movements, and then you have... So that actually has like a very nice different spin to it.
Oh, hey.
Fuck.
Hey, sorry, forgot that we were doing this on Wednesdays too again.
Where were you?
At a men's group.
The fuck?
It's like a men's group at one of the churches I go to. It's like checking it out because brother was going there and like, yeah, you know, I might as well go one of these times.
Oh, your brother came, huh?
Yeah, he's not staying for very long, so figured out why not.
Okay. But
so what have we been talking about, or is this already almost over?
Well, we can do it longer since you're here. We can probably go longer. But yeah, we're talking about modern entertainment on movies, cartoons, and video games, and if it's better or worse than we've had in the past, or the same.
Oh. Well, so far it's been worse than the past. I can definitely say that for a fact.
We talked about how some things like Mario and Zelda have stood the test of time, but other things like Resident Evil have gotten bad and better again and stuff. And
yeah, speaking of Resident Evil, Van Daly did know that apparently the series lost its horror roots at one point. Yeah. I already mentioned how Resident Evil 5 added a co-op element. It was a lot more action geared, but because you were fighting enemies that took a lot of gunfire and you felt like the odds were against you, it still kind of felt like a Resident Evil game in that sense. 6 was the game that everyone hated. Because I thought 6 was okay for what it was, but 6 was just a straight up Michael Bay action movie. Like,
so
there were literally vehicle segments, points where you had to go in Gatling turrets. Like, I think it was because like 6 was like split up into 4 different campaigns. It was said that Leon and Ada's campaigns were the ones that felt most like a Resident Evil game. Jake's campaign had all the action in it, and then Chris's campaign had so much action in it. People were literally were on the verge of just simply calling Chris's campaign a Gears of War clone.
So Mario, you can turn your camera on or keep it off.
Oh, you're using OBS?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I thought you would use Hangouts, but not surprising. Well, I guess I can keep it on. Hi, people that are watching. I had caffeine.
Smelly
okay.
commands you, Mario.
What? What, Schnick?
Smelly ogre commands you.
So, what is your opinion on modern stuff?
Well, I guess it depends on what you're talking about. Like video games or like generally or
just each subject, like break it down.
Well, movies I can't really say. Though, I mean, I've heard of stuff from 2016 Ghostbusters and well, I guess I could also say something about The Last Jedi, but I don't think you've seen it still, haven't you?
Tomorrow, cross the fingers.
Damn. Anyways, so, okay, I'll talk in, like, a specific way for Last Jedi without spoiling for you then, but, yeah, people complained about Ghostbusters 2016, and I think it had something to do with the fact that there was women there, right?
Yeah, essentially, a lot of people hated how it was basically an anti-men SJW piece.
And how it had no connection at all to the original, even though the original cast was in it, they were the original characters.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I mean, James Rolfe actually talked about the movie, and that is a good point that he does bring up, is why have the original actors from the original movies as cameos instead of making them, you know, the stars of the movie?
Well, not even the stars. I mean, I think people, this is my opinion here, I think people would have been okay with the all-female cast if there's like a passing of the torch type of thing, you know? Here, you're the successors.
Yeah, I mean...
But no, the way they did it was, nope, here's our new all-female cast. You're going to love them whether you like it or not.
Truth be told, honestly, coming from a person that's never gone to watch the original Ghostbusters and seeing it 2016 Ghostbusters first, honestly, I could not even tell where the original actors were other than like maybe other videos where people were pointing it out from prior experience, but other than that, I didn't really catch any of the original actors simply because I just don't know what they look like. I don't know what their roles were in terms of the original team. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, you have that thing for the fans, but what about newcomers? Like, what the heck? So if anything, it was almost pointless in my eyes compared to someone else that's seen the original stuff, and I think that's kind of stupid.
I don't know if it's true or not, but someone said one time, I think someone said that the special effects in the new movie was worse than special effects of the old movie, and that was in the 80s.
Well, you know, I didn't really see anything wrong with the special effects. I mean, it's not like they were bad or anything. I doubt you're gonna either want to see it or have already seen it, but
all I've seen is reviews of it. I never seen.
Okay, so you don't care. Well, in that case, one big twist I had with the movie, which honestly was probably the biggest twist, was that whole act that the main villain had with the Ghostbusters logo. That was a bit of a twist, but why did it turn into that marshmallow thing I don't remember the name of?
Well, in the original movie, it's because they're up on the.
Hold on.
Hey, finally got a viewer. Oh, it was the guy that didn't say anything. He just points out random emojis and stuff. Hey, Viral TV, actually leave a comment, why don't you? Tell us your opinion on modern entertainment, besides just leaving stupid emojis.
No, I think they're following those stupid Chevy commercials saying they can only answer questions in emojis.
How lame.
Lame, exactly. Emojis are lame.
I mean, they have their purpose sometimes, but that's all you write with them.
No, a lot of people. I would say a lot of cell phone people think emojis have basically replaced the English language.
I think just
another thing that I think is wrong with modern entertainment. It's that people feel the need to be all hip, cool.
I think
part of the reason I stopped watching Watch Mojo is because I was tired of the narrators always saying "what" whenever they were questioning on their bad top 10 lists, like where they were listing off things they thought were bad. And I know that's not exclusive to the 2010s. The 90s had stuff like Rad.
Yeah, I need to make some more. If you can top 10 lists, I need to make some more of those because those are some of my biggest viewer grabs for top 10 lists.
I feel like I should make top 10 lists.
I'm just lazy and procrastination again. Getting in there. I'm going to make a top 10 list 3 years later. I'll make a top 10 list.
Once I'm out of school, I'll probably have all the time in the world to do a script for the thing.
But yeah, I think earlier, I think people are still into the. I think other people think that hate is what George Lucas started in the prequels, like the overuse of CGI stuff. I think some people are complaining about.
I mean, CG versus practical effects doesn't bug me as much, but CG versus 2D movies, that bugs me big time.
Like, I think there, like some people, I don't know if that's true or not, but people say that Jurassic Park worked because they used real stuff along with CGI, the CGI stuff for the dinosaurs. So some of them are actually there. You can interact with them. Other times with modern stuff, you're just talking to a blank screen. Of course, then again, that worked with movies. That worked with movies like Roger Rabbit, where they're talking to nothing really. So something was there. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's a lot of nowadays. There's a lot of real people versus anime interaction stuff, like in the Warner Brothers movies and Bugs Bunny movies.
Huh. They did say a sequel to Space Jam's coming out.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
I am somewhat interested, but somewhat scared at the same time.
I will say this: if they animate the Looney Tunes with their classic '90s designs, like how they looked in Space Jam, I might give them props for that. But if they use their cheap Looney Tunes show looks, I am going to be pissed off.
What did they use in the last movie? I think you played a game on. I think you had a game based on it, didn't you?
Oh, Looney Tunes Back in Action. Oh, they used the same thing. They weren't using cheap bubbly shit back then.
God. I am out of things to talk about.
And where'd Mario go?
I think his mom called him.
Oh.
Or his brother or his dad. I don't remember.
Okay.
God. God, I wish you were your full talkative self right now.
I don't know. It's just that after getting sick, something was making me feel really down. I don't know what it was. Like, a part of me was thinking it was because I didn't have any friends to talk to, since Skyping all of you probably was not a wise idea, like, during the day, like, especially at night when you gotta work. Then Brandon's always missing. But then here at home, there's no one really for me to talk to in person.
Except for the baby.
Yeah, the baby. But he can't talk back to me.
He can just growl and lick you.
Yeah.
Oh God. It also sucks that our timing of both of us being sick at the same time, one after another, that we couldn't do any recording justification. We planned to. At first, I was sick and couldn't talk. Then the time I recovered, you were in Florida. The time you got back, you got sick. So
I wasn't even expecting to get sick. Like, it just happened.
And now I had to work again. Now you're not better yet, but I had to go back to work again until Saturday. So unless you get well again by Saturday, miracles happen. But yeah, we're like the curse of timing with us. The curse of timing with Mario too. Timing has always been our biggest curse when doing stuff. It's very rare that all of us are free at the same time nowadays.
Huh.
But yeah. So I doubt you're still there, Vitals TV, but do you have any opinion on modern entertainment? I guess Pokesaurus isn't here either this today. It's too bad. Last time he was on the screen, he made some good points of subjects, and so what's the other guy that was here too. Oh, Mario's back finally. He's gone again. Nope, he's sitting door.
Sorry for that absence.
So as I was telling you, I know the new thing, but in the original Ghostbusters, the demon of the movie that was formed by a sex act of two characters.
It was formed by a sex act.
Yeah, the key, they called it the key. They called them the key and the lock. But anyways.
Those bastards. They knew what they were doing.
But anyways, they're like you four, you decide what form the Destructor will take. Whatever you think about, they're like, no, don't think. One of them thought about a mascot for a mushroom cream, the Marshmallow Man. That's why he appeared. Like, I thought about him. Because he thought about cartoon growing up from when he was a kid. It's like if we were up there and we thought about like Sora and the Keyblade or something. Like all of a sudden Sora and his Keyblade was the big destructor of the world.
I was trying to be that Sora was also another Ansem, Seeker of Darkness. Anyways, but yeah. And it was kind of, I guess it was also kind of bad timing for 2016 Ghostbusters, because the year, that was like...
The all death year?
Fucking pretty much. Like, it was really bad for that year, dude. Worst year ever. I mean, I'm not saying the movie was entirely bad, but the timing for it, at least, was not good, and that's probably... I mean, it probably didn't really help the reception it got. Maybe if it was in 2016 or 2017, it would have had a bit better reception, but I guess you never know.
I think from the, I think some people hate it from the moment the trailer aired. Even before they saw the movie, they already hated it. And then if you hated it, you're labeled anti-feminist, even though you might not be. Just like, oh, you just hate it because it has grills in it. No, maybe we hate it because it might have been lame. I don't know. I didn't watch it yet. It might have been good. I don't know. What do you think it was good or bad in your opinion? You saw it, or is this whatever?
I mean, from a newcomer's standpoint, I thought it pretty much did all right. Though, at the same time, too, I also need to point this out. At the same time, I really think they had a lot of placeholders with big companies like Coca-Cola. I mean, I'm just going to be straight honest. I think they had, like, maybe a lot of sponsors, because there was a lot of shots where you could see a company logo, like Coca-Cola, for instance. It was fucking ridiculous. Like, I don't think I've ever seen any other movie that did it to that extent. Like, you know, a couple placeholders here and there aren't like a huge deal or anything, you know, but like
they beat your head. They beat your head over with it.
I mean, it felt like it, honestly. Like, I was counting how many fucking placeholders I spotted, and don't ask for that number because I don't remember, but, like, you know, I think I counted, like, quite a bit of placeholders that I spotted, and they were pretty obvious. Like, towards the end of the movie, they were, like, so obvious that they were on, like, huge signs. Like, I'm talking huge.
It'd be like every 5 minutes, every 2 minutes, we were like, Halls, eat them. They're good. They do cough stuff every 5 minutes on the podcast.
Yeah, it was kind of ridiculous. Like, what am I watching? Ghostbusters or an advertisement with Ghostbusters theme? Like, I'm just saying. Oh yeah, also that one guy, you know, the one guy, I didn't really enjoy his character that much. I mean, when I was watching the movie, I didn't really care for him all that much. But then, like, thinking about it now, he really did not need to be in the movie. Other than, well, I mean, not like the entire character. Let me rephrase that, actually.
Like, who's the one
not
guy?
Not the entire character. I don't know his name. He's like the receptionist for the new Ghostbusters team.
Oh.
The guy that's supposed to be the comedic relief in the movie.
Oh.
I shouldn't say the entire character. That's not what I'm trying to get at. Like, the character could be there, but the character was overall, I felt, done poorly for the most part.
I think in the cartoon series, the receptionist and one of the Ghostbusters had a thing going on.
Oh, you know what would have been more interesting? Instead of, oh no, comedic relief guy turned bad, maybe one of the teams, maybe one of the team members from, you know, the whole thing should have been the villain. That would have been an interesting turn of events.
Oh yeah, like a betrayal from within.
Yeah.
Actually, that sounds interesting.
That honestly would have been a lot more interesting than just, oh no, comedic relief guy turned bad. Oh ho ho! Like,
somebody we don't care about. It's the bad guy. Who cares? We don't care. We never cared about him before, but we care about him now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, at the very least, like, at least make the character more interesting, not just, like, stupid. Other than that, though, I mean, I think I covered everything bad that I would say about the movie, so overall, it's an okay movie. It's not entirely bad, but it's not entirely good either.
You probably want to go no rewatch value in your opinion.
I mean, I don't think it's a movie that you would really need to rewatch. It's one of those movies that you should probably only watch it like one time unless friends wanted to see it and you had a DVD or Blu-ray for some reason.
Yeah, probably too. That's why I think I take some good. I think it tells if this movie is good or not. Sometimes if you go like I want to go see that movie again.
Yeah,
and you get the DVD for it, or you buy it on Netflix or Hulu, or whatever. The replay. I think the replay value. Hey, Stick, are you still here?
Yeah.
What's a movie that you like that has good replay value?
A movie that has good replay value. Movies I would want to watch over and over again. Well, one of them would have to be Toy Story. The original. Maybe Toy Story 2 as well.
With the claw, your favorite thing, the claw.
Oh my god.
it's also his most favorite level in the Genesis game.
Oh my god. But no, it's because Toy Story is very quotable. Same goes for Shrek.
Was Toy Story the first Pixar movie?
Yes.
What, Shrek the first DreamWorks movie?
No.
Damn it. Couldn't make a correlation there.
Earlier we did talk about Shrek, how it was the first of its kind to do something. Everyone else is copying it.
Yeah, we were talking about how the big problem with a lot of animated movies nowadays is that they all try to be Shrek.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of animation enthusiasts are pretty tired of it. A lot of 3D animated movies just simply do not want to be. All they want to be is stupid comedies, and all they do is imitate Shrek. Not saying I hate all 3D animated movies. It's just that everything from Illumination is Shrek. A lot of things that DreamWorks themselves do are like Shrek.
Well, okay. With DreamWorks, to be fair, they do kind of own the series, but yeah, I agree. Have some variety with it. And also Illumination, I think, was always bad.
Illumination is crappy. Literally, Illumination, they self-admitted that they are built to make movies as cheaply and as quickly as possible. They do not care about the medium at all.
Honestly, okay, Despicable Me might have been received well. Or at least I think it was received well.
I liked it.
But, I mean...
I haven't seen the third one yet.
You gotta be... I mean, let's be honest. Okay, Despicable Me 1, fine. Despicable Me 2, I don't really know much about, but... okay. And then, eventually, you get down to Minions. And then, for some reason, people like that. And now we have a huge mess than ever before from that studio. Oh, yeah, and also, I fucking hate them because they're the reason why I see Minion shit everywhere. Fuck them.
It's like how Disney oversaturated with the Frozen stuff and made it into a bad movie.
Okay, actually, now that you mentioned Disney, I know that there's a whole thing about them owning everything and trying to get a monopoly thing going, but can Disney just, like, buy out Illumination Studios and have, like, oh, I don't know, a better quality kind of thing?
Now, the one thing that is at least fair about Disney buying out stuff is that the companies they buy, like, they bought Marvel and Star Wars, they bought Marvel and Lucasfilm, and they kind of just let Marvel and Lucasfilm do whatever they want.
And probably the same thing with Jim Henson.
Yeah, they kind of just. I mean, well, with Well, with the Henson stuff, that's a bit different. But with Marvel and Lucasfilm, they just kind of let them do whatever they want.
Just put their logo on it.
They're just very open. They are very open, not like giving them many restrictions.
Well, I think that's only if the company would do good. And then I say that because we've seen EA and Disney.
Marvel and Star Wars doing good.
Well, I'm saying that specifically because of the fact that, you know, Disney had a bad taste with EA with their whole microtransaction bullshit. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
So, you know, at least Disney will have the courtesy to actually step up and, you know, call EA out on their shit when shit hits the fan, you know?
And I think of Disney, I'm going to say something, I said before, I'm going to say something controversial between the two of you, to me, but when I first saw the Frozen movie, I actually liked it. I thought it was a good movie. It was after I saw it.
I enjoyed it too, actually.
It was after, you know, everything on YouTube and movies, everything 50 times, then I started, burnout.
See, not even Shrek or like earlier Disney movies like Lion King got that treatment.
I mean, well, okay, for me, Frozen, yeah, one time was pretty good. I don't think I would like to see it again and again, though. I think part of the reason would be because of the whole musical-ish kind of thing, or I think the term would be like a jukebox movie. I don't know. It's like some weird term to define a musical and something else that has musical elements.
I call it the being over your head syndrome.
But yeah, it's those songs in particular.
Like, you like this? You like this? Watch it again and again and again and again and again and again and again.
It's because of those songs that I just wouldn't really like to watch again. If anything, like, I'd rather hear them once, and then every other time I have to watch the movie, just skip that part. Because,
or watch
you're not missing anything, really. Let's be honest. The songs aren't moving the story any more forward than the actual movie.
Or back in the day when you saw the movie theater, you got the VHS or the DVD, watch it when you wanted to, and then you didn't see it again for another like 10 years when they brought it back 10, 15 years later. Hey, remember this movie? Like they did with Lion King and stuff. 20 years later, like, hey, here's the DVD again, and it's gone again.
Oh,
the vault thing that used to have back in the day.
Oh, I thought once you said VHS, I thought you were gonna go on about how, like, oh, you don't like this part of the movie? That's okay. Fast forward, easy fast forward, and it looks nice. DVD fast forward.
Yeah, it's...
And then VHS, at least it's like...
Or DVDs really have to be cool if there was a skip song. You just go the songs or whatever where there's no little chapter. You just skip past it.
Oh yeah, that too. Well, actually, then again, couldn't you already do that with DVD players at least?
Well, no. Some problem with DVD sometimes is the chapters and scenes are in weird places, and sometimes they're short. Other times they're like 15 minutes long. And you skip if you skip scenes too much on DVDs and Blu-rays, you might skip lots of stuff.
Oh. Well, that was the one good thing about VHS is you can rewind and fast forward to specific places all you want.
Of course, the problem is that I wore out a lot of VHS doing that, and VCRs I broke a lot of them. Like rewind, fast forward, rewind, fast forward, rewind, fast forward. Lots of one scene over and over again that I liked.
Oh.
Of course, now you have DVRs too. You can do that.
Oops.
I mean, the fast forward option is still great though because, I mean, yeah, you could wear out your VHSs if you do it too much, but you know, going back to James Rolfe again, because I think a lot of his ideas are actually pretty nice to think about. But, you know, VHSs, if there's ads on them, which VHSs I watched as a kid, yes, I know, early 2000s kid having VHS. Wow, what a concept.
Oh, now,
Anyways.
now, sorry, fast. I'm now remembering us watching that VHS movie with your parents. That was just weird.
Oh, yeah. Documentary about VHSs and the collectors and stuff, but,
Especially when they showed that one scene.
oh, God. Well, anyways, so if there's ads on the VHS, you know, easily skip them. Or if you really want to, for memory's sake, you could watch them. Same thing for previews, too. DVDs, on the other hand, it's like
a separate chapter for previews.
Or in some cases, they don't even let you skip them. Apparently,
really,
they force you to watch them.
Really, I'll DVD. I've watched DVD in a while. Usually, to see previews, you have to go to a different category. Usually, it's right there.
Well, here's my thing. Apart from previews, why are DVDs having advertisements? Like that sounds stupid. Like, and same thing for VHSs too. I mean, at least with VHSs, you could easily skip them, but like DVDs, a lot of the time you might not be able to skip them. I don't know. I'm not a DVD connoisseur or a VHS connoisseur, but VHS is simple. DVD, I have no idea. But like, why are there even ads in the first place though? Like, you bought the movie or show collection, whatever, and you own it. So why is it I'm being treated as if I'm someone on YouTube trying to find the movie for free? I paid money to see a movie, not freaking advertisements. I mean, at least with previews, it's not that bad, especially if it's current, because, you know, previews, I guess? I don't know. I mean, I could still see how it would be annoying to people, but at least it's not as bad as full-on advertisements. I mean, come on. Like, that doesn't make any sense. If you pay for something, you shouldn't have to have advertisements. Just like with satellite or cable, and by satellite I mean DirecTV or Dish, stuff like that. You know, if you're paying for that kind of stuff, why are you getting advertisements? That should just stay on, like, if you're getting a satellite from, like, a Home Depot and trying to, like, get TV, but it's only local channels and, you know, that's about it. But at least there it makes sense because you're not paying a monthly subscription. Why are Comcast or DirecTV doing that crap? It makes no sense. Like, really? Wow. That sucks. And the worst part is that nobody seems to really care either.
Yeah, earlier about talking about entertainment, we talked about how I think people are more open now than they were back in the past, and how stuff is less edited now. It's funny, funny how some people think, like, I remember when back to Frozen again real fast when it first came out, people were like, some people, the anti people were like, oh, it's about lesbians and bestiality. You guys remember that?
What? I never heard anyone talk about that kind of idea.
It was mostly, I think it was mostly the church, the right wing church crowd. People were like, oh, it's
the church. Are you fucking kidding me?
Not you know, the sane ones. The extremists were like, because they're like the two girls talking about love and stuff. Oh, it's about lesbianism.
See, this is what happens when you criticize something, but you don't look into what you're criticizing. You're just assuming.
It's the same people
that are just making up bullshit.
It's the same people that said Pokemon and My Little Pony were Satanist things.
That too. The whole Pokemon argument was fucking stupid. Like, come on, it's a video game. Give me a fucking break.
If your kids watch this or play this, they are worshiping the devil.
Yeah, fuck that shit, dude.
Yeah, and because the guy was in the barn with the deer, they're like, it's bestiality. God, people are crazy. Also, earlier we talked about.
Let me get a drink quickly.
Also, we talked about earlier that the other subject we talked about the drug subject last week. How 2 days after that, 2 or 3 days after the that guy, the justice guy or attorney general guy says they're going to crack down more on drugs, marijuana now, even with legal states. 2 more states passed it in the Northeast. Right after that.
Medical or
legal, recreational. Like it.
Oh wow.
I don't know. I don't know if it was planned ahead of time. Probably was, or if they were like, you know what, screw you, we're going to pass it anyways.
Wait, what states were there?
Vermont and New Hampshire.
Damn it! Still not in Phoenix.
Actually, apparently they voted in a few years ago, but it failed. Like 2015 or 2016, I think they had a vote of it, but it didn't pass in Arizona.
Damn it! It's already blazing hot in here. We might as well 420 blaze it. Like, come on.
I think of all of well, you I think you live close enough to Colorado, whatever. But I think now Snick lives pretty close to the recreational state. I don't think he's gonna do it or not.
If I plan, what do you mean? What is a recreational state?
Recreational marijuana states.
Oh, marijuana state. What are the marijuana states?
Well, now I think recently Vermont and New Hampshire just passed ones, or starting to pass them.
Not that close to them, but I'm the closest out of everyone.
And yeah, I think also Massachusetts. I think Massachusetts is already a legal state.
Oh, if Massachusetts is legal, then never mind. I am very close.
And there's a lot more medical places too now, like Ohio's is medical. But like I said, right as soon as I told Mario that as soon as that Attorney General said screw the states' rights, we're gonna reinforce federal laws. 2 more states passed, like screw you back. We're passing anyways. But yeah, it's like it's just weird. I can't smoke it because of I can't do it because of my asthma. So I couldn't do it even if it was legal unless I ate something with it in it. But yeah, of course, it would make half the people at McDonald's happy because half of them do it anyways.
Well, Vandalia, it's simple. Make 1 brownie, but then eat it, and then you don't have to be stuck in a whole loop.
Yeah.
Being hungry, eating another. Being hungry, eating another.
The cycle continues. Yeah,
exactly.
Like, here's some advice for people to do that. Make sure you have non-edibles next to you in case you get hungry. I think I only did it one time not by accident. I was riding with people in the car, and they were smoking it. So I wrap it up. Snick, anything to say as we wrap this up?
All I can say is I really hope that Nickelodeon keeps producing revival movies for stuff to show how revivals of classic stuff can be done right.
It's already almost 2 hours.
And I really hope that all the crap that's done lazily ends up not the box office successes of all the lazy stuff ends up becoming fewer and farther between, which will practically force people to get more innovative.
Well, no, we've only been doing this an hour and a half. But I don't know what else we can talk about. Unless you have something to talk about.
Have we talked about video games?
Somewhat, but you can. We talked about Resident Evil, and we talked about Resident Evil, how it's
that's right.
the time, and we talked about how Mario and Zelda stood the test of time. But you can talk about your stuff now.
Well, I mean, we haven't really seen a whole lot with arcades anymore. You know, like Whatever happened to that stuff? Like we like back then we used to have Donkey Kong, I'm sure Tekken. Uh, I mean, it was like such a big thing back then, at least, that Nintendo was even in it with their Versus series of games, where it's the same thing as the NES games except modified to make it harder. And then they released the Play Choice 10, which the games are just literally the same as the home console versions, except now you have a time limit. Haha.
Speaking of video games, I heard they're making a Game Boy Classic now.
Are they?
I think I seen. I'm not sure or not, but I think advertisements for a game like NES Classic and SNES Classic now that they come in with Game Boy Classic.
Okay. Oh, now you got me started. Now you got me started, Van Delia. All right. Okay. I've seen arguments from people where, for the NES and SNES classics, oh, the real consoles are expensive, and the games are so expensive, and virtual consoles so expensive, and oh, pirating the games? Oh, that's a sin. I can't pirate Nintendo games even though they were released 20 at least years ago. No, that is bad. That is no good. I can't do that. I have to buy Nintendo products from Nintendo. So, yeah, that's why I'm buying a console that has a limited amount of games, so then if I even beat all of them, I can't play any more unless I buy more from the virtual console, if they even have any more.
Yeah, my problem
But then it's like, well, here's the problem with that. One, stop freaking out about pirating these old games because no one gives a shit anymore.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I don't care either.
Second, you're not gonna get arrested. I guarantee it. Even if you go out in public and emulate a game on your own laptop, no one's gonna care. Like, seriously, who calls the police on someone emulating an NES or SNES game? Like, really? And then 3, pirating is 100% free. You don't even need to pay for anything. I mean, unless you want to, like, be a little bit more authentic and buy a controller that looks like the NES or SNES controller, then, you know, you're not really paying for anything, and it's a pretty good deal in my opinion. And as for the real console thing, yeah, that can be expensive, but what about the people that want to be really authentic about it, like me? You know,
Yeah,
that's still a pretty fair option in my opinion. I mean, yeah, it might be on the expensive side, but think about it. Games nowadays are fucking expensive too. So, you know, you get fucked either way. Back then and now you're still fucked. So,
yeah, I have an
I mean,
I have an original Nintendo too, and to be fair, I did buy the thing with my tax refund, but not because I don't like emulation games. I have played emulation games. I bought just for I guess a collecting thing, I guess. Just to say I don't know.
I kind of feel the same way because originally I was entirely against emulation, but when oddly enough, you could say I got a foot into the door thanks to Brandon.
and partially me.
Yeah, and the main reason why was because Brandon practically begged me to download the N6 Project 64 so I could play his ROM hack.
Huh. Oh yeah.
And then after playing his ROM hack for a bit, I got more into the idea.
And you restarted your Mario series.
Yeah, I restarted my Mario 64 series. I still gotta upload that for Mario, but yeah, so I didn't stop there. I eventually got EPSXE, the PS2 emulator, the PSP emulator, and the DS emulator, and I primarily get stuff. And the DS and PSP emulators can let me do Let's Plays on games for those systems. And a lot of the games I own, a lot of the games I download is stuff that's so rare and obscure, and there's no way of getting them cheap officially.
Speaking of that, what's PSP emulator do you use? I tried to use one that didn't work on my computer.
I used PPSSPP.
Yeah, that didn't work. I tried, that one didn't work for me. I gotta find another one. Of course, newer
I don't
ones.
know if there is another one.
There's like 4 of them.
But anyways, can I continue?
So yeah, go on.
Okay, so all in all, in my opinion, people don't really have any grounding to say that the NES Classic and the SNES Classic is the superior and most economical way to play these old classics, because really they're not. Especially if you're talking about the NES Classic, because, well, honestly, good fucking luck getting one, because I guarantee you that you're going to be paying more for an NES Classic than a fucking NES itself.
Yeah, they're
Like, seriously, wasn't the NES Classic retail price $60? Funny enough that nowadays it's over 100 easily, and meanwhile I got my NES for $60.
I was lucky. I got mine for $70, but because that was back when it was still new. It wasn't scalper market.
And you can argue, oh well, they break down. Then
Fix it.
Yeah, they might break down, but so does everything else. I mean, if your argument is they break down more easily just because they're old, then yeah, that might be the case, but there's a thing called taking care of stuff.
And remind, real fast, and it breaks down, send it to Mario here. He'll fix it for you. his new business.
Hobby. But anyways. But yeah, I mean, honestly, there's not really any ground. I mean, if you want to be economic as possible with your money, just emulate it. It's free. Give me a break. If you really want to buy it, then, I mean, I don't know why you'd want to, but you could either buy the original games with the original console, or if you really don't want to go that route, then Virtual Console is your best bet. Though Virtual Console nowadays is hit or miss, so that's that problem.
Especially if the Wii U people like take it down too, like.
If they take down the online Wii U, I'm gonna be like flipping my shit. But or at least, well, I mean, if it's within like another 5 years, then I might not be so bad about it. But like, if it was within a couple of years, yeah, I'd be flipping.
Which again, shit. Would be too bad if you got to switch. You can transfer it over. If it was easier to transfer your stuff over the newer consoles. Like all the stuff you download on your Wii U, you could transfer to your Switch U or whatever.
Yeah. Good news, everyone.
Good news, everyone.
Logan Paul is toast with YouTube.
What are they doing?
His channel is still up, but he is no longer sponsored with YouTube. They're putting his YouTube Red original series on hold, and he is blocked from appearing on some series called Foursome, which had other YouTube stars. Like they said he's not allowed on there.
So who was this Logan Paul guy?
Wait, hold on. Look, Logan, I'm sorry to rub this in your face, but how you like me now? How you like me now? How you like me now? Hung. Dead Logan Paul. No more Logan Paul money. And finally, layers.
Again.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I have no idea who this guy even is.
Woo! Oh, that is good news, dude. Oh my god.
So who was this loser?
Thank God you're calling him loser. Basically, he's a guy that is supposed to be a vlogger. He's really cringy about it, and well, I only saw what he did recently, which was his trip to some place in Japan, and well, basically he's a fucking asshole because he disrespected like everyone that was in his path. He fucking shoved fish in people's faces. He jumped on trucks and some other vehicle. And in the beginning of one of the videos, he just outright, like, he's in a car, you know, like driving around, and they're at a stop sign or stoplight or something. And he fucking gets out of the car, walks around in the street, and goes up to one of the vehicles and says hi to one of the drivers and then walks back in the car. Now, I don't know about you, but isn't that illegal? Like, what the fuck? Like, you can't just do that. And also, the biggest offender that he made was the whole disrespect towards the dead. Okay, that unintentionally rhymed. Oh my god. But anyways, so he went to a forest called Suicide Forest and filmed a dead body. Oh, and also apparently there's a trail in the forest. He went off the path. So that's another violation right there. So he went off the beaten path. He finds a dead body with his shitty group, and they fucking keep filming. Even though one of them suggested to stop filming, Logan literally told them to keep going. And they were fucking laughing, and people will say, oh, well, that's nervous laughter. Okay, well, if it was nervous laughter, then why were they making jokes about it too? Like, I'm not going to deny whether or not it was nervous laughter, but, you know, the argument kind of, like, wears down when you realize, oh, they're making jokes. Well, is it really nervous laughter at that point? Like,
can I add a few things to this?
Well, the other thing I'm going to say is, okay, if you're going to argue with someone that's defending him, and they say, oh, why can't you forgive him for his mistakes? One, he's made too many mistakes, and two, going home after going to a place called Suicide Forest and going off the beaten path was a violation of that area and probably illegal. Filmed a dead body, disrespected the victim, and whoever else is going to discover this, and went home, edited it, and uploaded it.
Is that like people...
So that's not a fucking mistake. That's a fuck you to everyone.
Is that like people that film people getting beat up instead of trying to stop it? They film like kids getting beaten up or shot, and instead of trying to stop it, they like, oh, let's just film it.
I mean, here's the thing too. Yeah, Logan and his group did tell people, but that doesn't make it any better, you know? And yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say.
I just wanted to add, fans were actually fine with the video, even before the whole controversy erupted. Which leads me to believe that he's raising a generation of sociopaths.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sad.
Exactly.
I think they're thinking that, I guess some people consider that modern entertainment.
Well, I mean, it's happened this year. Like, the beginning, this is how we're starting 2018 with Logan Paul's shit.
And last year it was with PewDiePie.
And then 2016 was like 3 different companies trying to copyright 3 different words or terms that were like way too general. Actually, I made a video about that. I don't remember what those words or term was. I don't exactly remember who the companies were, but they were pretty well-known companies, and if I really wanted to know, again, I could just watch my own video and see for myself. So, yeah. But, yeah, Logan Paul, fuck yourself. And, going back to Nintendo, actually, because there was something else I also wanted to say. Yes, I wasn't done with my rant. So, yeah. Recapping what I said earlier, people don't have too great of grounds to really defend the NES Classic and SNES Classic because of numerous reasons. And, yeah, there's not really too many reasons, in my opinion, to really get those classic editions when you could just emulate it for free or get the real thing if you really wanted to go that route.
Yeah, unless you
But,
unless you just want to get to say you have it. That's the reason to really get one, is to say you have one.
but they're making a Game Boy Classic. So what the fuck? Are they just going to literally remake every fucking console, but only put in like a certain amount of games? Like what the fuck? And here's my question. First off, is it a home console or a portable console? And I'm not saying is the Game Boy that. I'm asking if the Game Boy Classic Edition is going to be one of those two, because I mean, at least it would make sense if it was portable, but if it was home, that'd be fucking kind of stupid.
I'm not really sure, because so far I've only seen it on a Facebook post, or I've seen it on like a Google listing thing. So I don't know if it's a real thing or not. But that's all I've seen of it so far is one little post about it.
Well, if it is going to be a real thing, I think it's fucking stupid because, well, now people don't even have the argument of saying, oh, that's expensive, because Game Boys, I mean, when I bought it, it was not that expensive, and, you know, I'm going to look up eBay prices while I'm talking here.
I mentioned this.
Not only that, but hold on, wait. Then there's the games, right? People might say, oh, the games are expensive. No. They're not that expensive. Give me a break. They're at least like $15, maybe 20 at most. Like
the only one I can take argument for that is maybe, I don't know if it's true or not, but back in the day, Final Fantasy 1 for NES was kind of expensive.
You could pick up a Game Boy Advance for $21. Like seriously. Well, while Game Boy Advance SPs may be expensive, like
or you buy one from Snick's for $5.
Yeah, there's alternatives.
Like,
oh, look at this. A restored red Nintendo Game Boy Pocket with glass lens, $40. At least the $40 price is, you know, sensible because it's restored, aka refurbished, and it's probably been updated or upgraded a little bit, so, you know, at least in that sense, that's fine. Let me see here. Oh, okay, so apparently original Game Boys are about $70. Oh, okay, well, let's see here. What were the last two prices of the previous Classic editions? NES Classic, I believe, was like $60, and then the SNES Classic was $100. I mean, think about it. The Game Boy Classic, if that's going to be a thing, that's probably going to be around that price. And if it's not, then that'd be pretty impressive, but like, you know, I'm just saying realistically, comparing prices for the other two editions, yeah, I think that the Game Boy price here on eBay right now would probably be around the same price as the Classic edition, so if anything, you could argue it's expensive, but you'd have to say the same for the edition.
Yeah.
Oh, but it comes with all these games.
Yeah, I mentioned real fast, and I mentioned this same thing on our 4th season premiere 2 years ago. It comes with all these games, but unless you like all those games, it doesn't matter. Half the games on there, I have no interest in playing. I don't like them at all. I mean, if you could pick your own games on it, it might have been a different story, you know. But no, it's these 30 games, and you get them like it or not. Get it like it or not. These games you on the system. If you don't like half of them, too bad.
Yeah. Like, honestly, oh, Super Mario Land, $18. Oh, if you really wanted to argue about economical, you could get Super Mario Land for way cheaper on Virtual Console. So, there you go. AKA another reason not to get a Game Boy Classic Edition if that becomes a thing. So, there you go on that part. Mega Man 4 on Game Boy, $88. It's probably rare or sought after, so.
What's next? A PS1 Classic? An Xbox Original Classic?
Alright, to be fair, eBay prices are somewhat pricey, but you could probably find a better deal at a retro game store. I mean, I did, so, eh. And plus, a lot of the listings on eBay seem to be just mainly Pokemon stuff or GBA cartridges anyways, so yeah, you find a lot more stuff at a retro game store. So yeah, there's that. Oh, and once again, it's going to most likely, or if not 100%, have a limited amount of games, and it's probably going to have some awkward choices, just like how the NES Classic Edition has Castlevania 2, aka the not good Castlevania game on the NES. Like, are you fucking kidding me, Nintendo? Like, why? And also the fact that they flopped the NES Classic, but whatever.
Oh yeah, I think they flopped it when they were like, "We're gonna stop making these now."
They flopped it for no reason, really. Like,
well, yeah, I understand.
Like, they shot themselves in the head with that one. Like, honestly, fucking, they purposely did not put out a lot. It's like they didn't even want to sell the console that they made. Like, honestly. And then they allowed people to be scalpers. Like fucking assholes. And now, good fucking luck getting a NES Classic. Oh yeah, also, I love how people hacked the NES Classic, and then when the SNES Classic came out, that also got hacked pretty fast. It's like, do they even care whether or not it gets hacked? I mean, probably not, but... Oh, I'm sorry about that. But whatever, dude. The fucking classic editions are shit anyways. You're way better off with alternatives. And plus, in my opinion, I think the SNES Classic, $100, really? That's a little bit expensive, don't you think?
Yeah.
Let's see how many people would argue with math. Like, whatever. Fucking math my ass. Oh, I just remembered too. You could also go the route of getting the original console, but then getting a flash cart so you can get ROMs of the games, and then you don't have to pay for the games if they're really that expensive. So there you go, the mix of the two.
You recently bought an original NES. Are you planning to buy an original Super NES too?
Right now I don't have the money for it, and I kind of would like a SNES, so maybe. But right now I just don't really have any intentions at the moment.
My friend has a top loader NES and Super NES combo thing. They're both top. It's a two top loader in one.
Oh, so the third party shit.
Probably it can play both NES and Super NES games, and it's a top loader.
Oh, that's kind of, I mean, if it works good for them, then that's great. But
it works. We did on my channel. With it, we did the Mario, my Mario Let's Play and my Zelda Let's Play on my channel through his console.
I don't really look too fondly on them because it's like. It feels like a knockoff, if anything.
But yeah, you can always get original too. Like whatever, as long as it works, doesn't matter. But if you do get one, Secret of Mana, gotta play it. Best NES, best Super Nintendo game of all time, in my opinion. Secret of Mana. Get it? It's a SquareSoft game. Same company that made Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. So it's good.
And same company that helped with Mario RPG Legend of Southern Stars.
Really? I did not know that.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Squaresoft was part of that because, well, did you know that Super Mario RPG actually had a secret Final Fantasy boss in it?
Yeah, it did. It was Final, but it wasn't a Final Fantasy character. It was themed after Final Fantasy, and it had the Final Fantasy IV boss music playing, but.
No, I'm pretty sure that it's at least like highly based off of one of the villains in one of the Final Fantasy games.
It is highly based off of Final Fantasy designed character, but it's not a character from the Final Fantasy games.
Well, wait, how does that make sense?
it's basically meant to be a Final Fantasy-like character. It's like a little Easter egg for Final Fantasy fans.
Like a fake character, you're saying?
Yeah, I think. Like, let me look this up, actually.
Are you sure? Because I really remember that character being an actual boss, or I think a final boss in one of the games. I really remember that.
Yeah, I'm
Not just as a fake character.
and I'm not sure what games Enix had before they merged with SquareSoft, became Square Enix.
Yeah, the character never appeared. It's meant to be a guest character from the Final Fantasy series, but he never actually appeared in a Final Fantasy game. He's the character, the boss is more or less an allusion to the Final Fantasy series.
Oh, so cut content.
Hey, do you guys know of any good Enix games back in the day? I know there's a lot of good.
Well, there's Star Ocean.
I knew there's a lot of good SquareSoft games starting with Final Fantasy 1, but I don't know if there's any good Enix. I don't know any Enix games before they merged with SquareSoft, became Square Enix.
Well, there were two big franchises Enix was known for before in America before they merged with Square, and that's Dragon Quest and Star Ocean.
I heard of Dragon Quest. At least I've heard of the original game.
Star Ocean's the other one.
I never heard of Star Ocean. I've only heard of Dragon Quest.
Yeah, Star Ocean was notable for being the first RPG series that didn't have a fantasy setting. The developers wanted to have a big science fiction setting.
Oh, cool. And then
so there were 5 Star Ocean games, and there's there's an 11th Dragon Quest game coming out, but obviously they're all published under Square now. I know that while Square's final game they published under their own name was KH1, Enix's final game they published under their own name was the Japanese version of Star Ocean 3.
Because I think was the first Square Enix game like. Was that 10-2?
Yeah, 10-2 is the first game with the Square Enix logo. Well, actually, from what I can tell, a lot of Enix games did not get released in America. Like a few of the Dragon Quest games were released, but they were under different names. Like Dragon Quest 7 got released on the PS1. Under the name Dragon Warrior 7, I think.
Yeah, same. I think the same was a lot of SquareSoft games until recently. We all know about the Final Fantasy stuff.
The
one.
I know that the first Star Ocean didn't come to the States at first, but the second one did.
And I mentioned Secret of Mana before. Apparently, Secret of Mana was the second game in the series, and the first game never came to America until years later. I think you'll probably only get an emulation still.
The first Star Ocean never came to the U.S. It was on the Super Famicom, and it was released I think in '96, which is why it didn't come.
Just like how the second Mario game never came to America until it became the Lost Levels years later.
Okay. But then let's see. But then Star Ocean 2 came out on the PS1, and then both of them, including the first one, got a re-release on the PSP. In fact, I've been playing the PSP re-release of the first one.
So maybe that could be a game that you upload on my channel, like you're doing for Mario on his channel. But yeah. Oh, 2 hours is up. You have any final thoughts, Mario, before we head off?
Well, originally I was talking about arcade games, and I guess I'd like to see arcade games really having a huge comeback, and not just be a Dave & Buster's only thing or a barcade only thing, you know?
I've heard of some arcade places where they do a pay at the door thing. They take away the quarter thing, and you pay a fee at the door, and you play all you want. Like unlimited plays on the arcades. Instead of having quarters, you do a door fee.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, it's nice. But I don't know. There's just kind of something about paying quarters either way. It's just kind of nostalgic.
True. I used to play arcades all the time growing up, especially at a casino. Because there was a casino in my neighborhood. I used to go in there just to play Mario 1 on the arcade.
Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe trying to go for some kind of arcade machine, though. That would be like serious business at that point.
Well, as long as you don't go busting it like that one Pac-Man video did.
Oh, well, no, I'm not gonna bust it. Are you fucking serious? I mean, technically, I already do have an arcade machine, except it's kind of like it's semi-broken because the quarter and well, it takes dollars too. But the quarter/dollar acceptor, there's something wrong with it. I'm not sure what, and there's just like some other problem that I'm not really sure of with the machine itself. So I don't know. But yeah, that's basically it, really.
Oh, well, to wrap it up, remember, folks, uh, enjoy your recreational marijuana while you can, unless the federal government overpasses it. Modern entertainment, some of it's good, some of it just freaking sucks. And video games, play what you like. I don't know what to say about that. Join us Saturday for episode 4. The topic will be don't know yet. We hardly ever do. But other than that, enjoy the randomness. We'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.